Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to the Dig Out of Debt series here on Gage, Kentucky. I do hope you're all doing very, very well and having a brilliant day. And I do hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas and New Year break with your friends and family and all that. Hope you've had a great time. Now before I forget, because I did forget during the recording of the last episode, I had a handful of requests since I've started this series asking if the save file would be available to download for anyone who's interested in getting a copy of it. Now I forgot to mention this in the last episode because I was just so caught up on what I was getting on with in that episode. But yes, there is a copy of this save game if you want to download it over on my Discord channel. So if any of you are interested, it's in the community save games section over on the Discord there. So by all means, please do go help yourself. It's pretty much a copy of where the save was as of the beginning of the last episode, I think it was. So yeah, it's there for you to go grab if you so wish. Let me just get that done there. Send us off to field 63. So episode 3 now, here we are. We're going to crack on. Now I did say in the last episode, and I've said it over the last couple of episodes, haven't I, that, you know, the purpose of this series is obviously to pay down. At the minute we've got an outstanding debt of $1 million, and I want to start chipping away at that little bit by bit if I can. We've got to find the balance of concentrating on working on our own land and our own fields and looking after our animals, to also taking on as many contracts as we can to start paying down that debt. Now we're in September. Very quick recap. Obviously we've harvested the wheat in this field, and we also cultivated it in the last episode, and we also cultivated this area of meadowland that we mowed and we baled up, and then once that was done and they're all picked up and stowed away in the bale storage, we then cultivate it as well to create some arable land. We've also got this area of meadowland here which we still have yet to mow. The idea with this one is we're going to mow it. I'm going to potentially keep a handful of bales aside to keep the animals not topped up, but you know what I mean, just to have a bit of a stash of grass bales in the bale storage there to look after the animals over the forthcoming months. And the rest of the bales we're going to wrap for silage and make some money from when they're fermented, and then we'll be cultivating that area of land as well and turning that to arable. So that's all to come. But I kind of thought, and I did deliberate in the last episode whether what to do first. Do I just focus entirely on sorting my own land out and then get on with some contracts and start chipping away at the debt? But I kind of thought, no, I'd really like to at least get a couple of contracts done to, like I say, make our first payment towards the debt. Now, as you can see in the top right hand corner, I have taken on 2 contracts at the minute. I am a bit of a sucker for taking on the contracts that pay the most. Now collectively across these 2 contracts we're looking at potential earnings of just over $87,000, $87,357 to be precise. We've got a cultivating contract in field 85 which is paying just over $33,500, and we've got a ploughing contract in field 63 that is paying just over 53, or just under 54,000 actually, 53,814 to be precise. So we stand to earn a decent amount of money, but it's going to take a lot of time. I have done a little bit of setting up off camera between this last couple of days, essentially just setting up the courseplay courses, because they do take a few minutes to create within courseplay. So I've done all that off camera, and I did actually run the ploughing contract just for a bit of a test to see how long it was going to take, because it's a big field. It's big money, it's a big field, but of course we've got a small plough. I think it's a little over 4 meters wide, this thing, and this contract is going to take me just over 5.5 hours according to courseplay. So it's it's a big one, but it's going to earn us the money, like I said, just north of 53, or just under $54,000. So that's brilliant. So collectively just north of $87,000 into the bank. That's a great spot of income to start off with, to kick us off with. Now I'll be paying, most of those earnings will go towards our first payment towards the debt, but I will keep a little bit of aside, because I do need to be mindful that the expenses that we've got to fork out for across the next couple of episodes, no doubt, is lime in particular, so we can get our pH balances brought up to where they should be within our arable land. And also we will need to purchase seed and fertilizer for when it comes to drilling, because we are in September. We can drill barley, canola and wheat, so we've got 3 options there, but we will also have 3 fields to, once we've got that third bit of meadowland mowed and baled up and cultivated, we will then have 3 fields to drill. So we'll do 1 of each, I think, just for a bit of variety. So we're going to need a decent amount of seed, we're going to need a decent amount of fertilizer, and we are going to need a good chunk of lime as well. So I'd like to, that's the idea of getting some money into the bank now, make a big payment off the loan, and still have a chunk of money to pay to go towards the lime and the seed and the fertilizer. So that's the plan. But also when it comes to contracts as well, one of the I suppose I've noticed this anyway in the way I play, and especially on a map this big and this beautiful, is when you've got your farm set up and all that, unless you do contracts, in my opinion anyway, like I say, the way I play, it's quite rare that you actually see a lot of the map. You kind of tend to spend your time in and around your own farm. Yes, you might make a few trips to the dealership or the sell points and all that kind of stuff, but I tend to miss out on a lot of a particular map because I spend most of my time focusing on my own fields, etc. So yeah, it's just nice to do some contracts and get the opportunity to travel around the map and just travel around the map in a little bit, so you can just see a lot of what else there is out there on the map, because this map is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. It's very, very special. I have just noticed that I've got traffic turned off as well, which is forgot to turn back on again after all the faffing around I was doing before. But yeah, so I've remembered to tell you about the save game download. The link for my Discord will be in the video description below. By all means, please do go help yourself to it there. The save game's there, and in a separate section in that community save game channel, there is a list of the mods that you will require as well for this save game to work properly. So there's that. So it's all there for you if you want it, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, help yourself. So here we are now. Funnily enough, the 2 fields that we're doing the contracts in are this one here, field 63, and field 85 is literally on the other side of that farm there. So we haven't actually got far to travel between the fields, but we do actually have to go back to the farm to pick up the cultivator. I did toy with the idea of coming over here with the plough mounted on the front and the cultivator on the back and just working like that in between, and leaving one at the side of the field to go work in the other one, but I kind of figured I could probably do with the front weight on this tractor while we're doing this work. So yeah, I figured I'd just go back into. Now, like I said, this is going to take us, it's going to take me some considerable time, 5.5 hours to get this field done. If I just remind myself exactly how big it is. Where are we? Field 60. I don't know why mine does that. I have to come in and out of the menu once I've turned the game on, because my mouse cursor doesn't appear for some reason. But if we click on here, what have we got? 47.5 acres. So numerically, it doesn't seem that big, but it is a very, very odd shape. And I have got Courseplay to successfully create a course on this field. I know a few people have had issues with Courseplay on this map for some reason, but I think it's just some of the fields are an odd shape, and it does take Courseplay a good few minutes to plot out a route if you are working with Courseplay. So I suppose patience is a virtue in that respect. Courseplay, it does always tend to work. You've just got to give it a good few minutes to find the field and also to plot a course, especially if it's a really daft shape like this one. But yeah, 40 odd, just under 48 acres to get done here. Like I say, about 5.5 hours. So yeah, in it for the long haul, this one, but it's going to be worth it, isn't it? $53,814 into the bank when this one's done, another $33,500 when the other one's done, bringing in almost 90 grand into the bank. So that's going to be a good chunk of money to pay off the debt. So I'm going to knuckle down here. Like I say, many hours of ploughing ahead of us. The tractor does cope reasonably well with the plough. It's not underpowered, but it does just about cope with it. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to crack on with this now, and I'll see you in several hours' time. Both of these contracts are pretty much going to take up most of this in-game day. It's 9 o'clock in the morning now. I know the other contract is just north of 2 hours, so collectively we've got about 7.5 to 8 hours worth of work to do to earn us this money. So yeah, it's got to be done. So throw a bit of music behind this job, and I'll see you when it's done.
You won't you here with me? Am I out of my mind? Or is this how it should be? You made me sing about love. So just tell me if I'm wrong. But it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Yeah! Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. A little crazy for you. Hey. A little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now, baby. I'm a little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now, baby. Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. I feel crazy. A little crazy for you, baby. Yeah, yeah. Little crazy for you now. Oh, yeah, crazy for you.
Right, almost done now, just on the last headland, but I don't actually have to be doing this. As you can see, the contract information is gone from the top right corner there, but does anyone else do this? I just feel it's the right thing to do to finish the job, as it were. I've got better contracts running. I don't have contract boost running because I didn't want to give myself any financial advantages or anything like that when I'm going to be doing so many contracts on this series, until we paid off the debt, of course, that is. But yeah, so I've got better contracts running, but I'm pretty sure that without that mod running, ordinarily when you've hit 100% completion on a contract, it kind of stops you from doing it and says that you no longer own the land and you can't actually do it. But fortunately, whether it is better contracts that's allowing me to do it, I don't know. But yeah, I hit 100% completed about 5 minutes ago. According to CoursePlay, we've got 2 minutes and 7 seconds left, so not long to go before this headland is done. But yeah, interestingly as well, it's bang on 2 o'clock, and we started this job at pretty much, as near as makes no difference, bang on 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's actually taken us 5 hours, and CoursePlay told us it was going to take 5.5 hours. 5 hours and 28 minutes to be precise. So I don't know how I've managed to shave off half an hour off that job, because it's, you know, I mean, it is what it is, don't get me wrong, but I'm just quite chuffed with that. So yeah, good 5 hours work, and it's going to pay off dividends, it really is. Now, because it's shaved off, I've somehow managed to shave off half an hour off the job, we've actually earned, from doing this, $10,762 an hour. So that's a pretty decent sum of money to be bringing in on an hourly basis, isn't it? Just under 11 grand. That's definitely not to be sniffed at. But this thing has done a good job, and when we're done, in a couple of minutes' time, the fuel tank's just less than half full, I think, there now. So, and we've got to go back to the farm anyway and swap out the plough for the cultivator. So we'll throw a bit of fuel in this. I think I might have to spend a couple of dollars filling up that thimble of a fuel tank that I have on the farm. And I know I could obviously replace that fuel tank with something a bit bigger, but for now I'm not going to waste money on that, so to speak. I'm just going to top up that little fuel tank as and when we need it, and in the fullness of time, when the finances are a bit better, we're not quite so much in debt, we'll maybe look to better ourselves on a few bits of equipment on the farm, and of course maybe a bigger fuel tank, etc. I certainly don't think I need to spend any money on sheds or anything. I'm quite happy with the way the farm's laid out at the minute. It's got everything we need. We've got a workshop, we've got a bale storage, we've got somewhere for the tractors and the machinery to sit out the rain. That's all that matters really at the minute. So yeah, so where are we now? 13 seconds left. Right. Not bad. Not bad at all. And yeah, like I say, it was literally just after 9 o'clock, so this could be as near as makes no difference. Bang on 5 hours. So, let's come to a halt there. Nice. There we go. Right, so let's turn this contract in. I'm looking forward to this. Our first dollar earned. So, active contracts, ploughing, completed, collect. Boom. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. $53,814. Very happy with that indeed. That was awesome. Awesome work. So, right. Let's get out the field. We're going to get... I need to get me bearings, actually. Where am I? It's just such a big field with so many random shapes in it that I need to... I think I need to be heading... Yeah, there's those buildings there. I need to head that way, don't I? So... Now I could just... I suppose I should really do it. Oh, I'll be alright. Trying to think about doing it the right way and just run around the border of the field, but come on. Spent long enough here. So anyway, I'll get ourselves out the field now. Back to the farm, and I'll see you down there in a moment or two's time. Almost back at the farm now. Now, something I forgot to mention earlier on at the beginning of the video was obviously talking about the concept of doing lots of contracts and paying off the debt and all that. The one thing I am banking on is this, and this is our almost 95 acres of currently growing corn. Those of you new to the series, you won't have heard me say this on previous episodes, but I do have a corn dryer on the farm, and the plan is that we're going to harvest this corn in October, November time when it's ready to go, and then we're going to be putting it just to the left there behind the trees in that big old nasty rusty looking corn dryer, which is an awesome little mod. It really is. I'm going to have to pull over here and... Can I squeeze through there? Or have I got stuck? No, I'm stuck. Of all the times to get a truck right there, it's right by a tree. Honestly, right. If I just reverse out the way, I see. I put traffic back on. Come on. Even if you just stop a little bit further down, just to give me the space to get between that gap. It's Todd's law, that wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Of all the times, but yeah. So the plan is to get that obviously corn harvested and stick it all in the corn dryer and profit from the dry corn, which you get a lot more money for a bit later on in the future. But I am heavily banking on that. My experience with dried, I've only done one real thing with dried corn, and that was over on Iowa cattle, and we did very, very well from it. We made, admittedly, I had quite a bit more land to work with corn, but I did make several $1 million from selling that dried corn. So with that in mind, I am very much hoping that we're going to do pretty well off of that. Almost 100 acres of dry corn. I'm hoping it's going to come to fruition really nicely and help me pay off a significant chunk of this massive amount of debt that we have. So that's what I am banking on. But yeah, until then, we will continue to do the odd contract here and there. Like I say, we're doing the 2 today. We've got that connected. Where are we? Why isn't that connecting? That was a delayed reaction, wasn't it? What's going on there? Oh dear. Wonder what's going on there. It's not... There we go. Yeah, attach. There we go, that's better. It wasn't doing it then. Don't know what was going wrong there. Anyway, we're on now. That's all that matters. But yeah, so... Looking forward to getting the dried corn in there and seeing what we can sell that for. So now we're all attached there. We'll just very quickly nip back into the yard here. We'll top this thing up with a bit of diesel. We may well have to spend a couple of $100 on filling up the diesel tank, because I don't think there's anything left in it. I did actually top this thing up just before we left this morning to go out and do the ploughing. So let's just have a quick look. See what it says we've got in here. 274 litres, will that fill us? Should do. Oh, look at that. There we go. In fact, let's just sit. Ooh, forgot to open the door there. Where are we? Refill. Yeah, may as well spend that, and we're going to need it. There we go. Right then. Now that's sorted. Let's get back over to just across the road from where we were before, to field 85, and get some cultivating done and get even more money in the bank. Almost there now. Now I spent a huge amount of time when I was setting this series up, toying over which starter farm to go from to start with, and there's so many on this map. There really is. I was spoilt for choice. It literally took me most of the day, but this area in particular, on this kind of corner of this road, there's two farm layouts here, and I really was taken by both of them, but I just found them both a little bit too big and a little bit, maybe, I don't know, yeah, just a bit too big. I quite fancied I kept coming back to the rural area where I've set up for this series. I just kept on coming back to it. Obviously I put my own touch to it, but I just love the fact that so many of the starter areas on this map that Gagefield has created have all got the fully modelled interior interactable houses. It just adds that little extra bit of immersion to where you're starting from, really, and it's just a really nice little touch. It's not something we've seen on many maps. Yes, some maps have one or two of them, but not as many as this one. I'll tell you what, these local drivers are an impatient bunch, aren't they? But this is us. This is the field 85, where we're going to be earning another just under $34,000, which is brilliant. It'll be a good day's earnings today when we add it up to what we earned before. But this is the field we've been working in, or will be working in, sorry. Doing a bit of cultivation. No doubt if I had chosen to start on either of these two farms, this field would have been ours, no doubt. I'd have purchased it and it would have been one to work in. Yep, just selected the wrong one there. All right, lift up that front weight. There we are. Get that unfolded. And let's get cracking. Earn ourselves a bit more money. Nice. So, a couple of hours time, no doubt. About 2.5 hours, I reckon, give or take a bit. Get a few more dollars in the bank, and then once we're done with this, we shall have a look at exactly what we've earned, what the bank balance is, and we shall make our first payment towards our loan. So let's get cracking.
Drown out the sound. I wish I knew what you were thinking about. Is this thing in my head delusional till I die, babe? At least we stand a chance then, right? It's been years and it still kills me. Your dynamite, so pretty. Hold on, darling, don't let me down. Hope that you feel it too, just give me a sign. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So until next time, hold on, darling, don't let me go. I wanna save your love, so just hold me close. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So until next time, I'll leave alone, and just like that I'm back to being sober. We'll leave it all aside, 'cause this way will never be over. You leave alone, and just like that you're back to being sober. You feel it too, right? So until next time.
Right then, there we go. Job done. Always got to remember to open the door, because I will never tire of this mod. I really won't. It's absolutely brilliant. Do you know what, actually? Let me just turn the engine off and do it again. Because it really is so cool. I've got, again, another massive shout out to Templeton Peck for the cab cinematic mod that he has recently released. I did give it a very brief showcase in the previous episode, but interestingly as well, he somehow managed to find my video, and I had a comment from him in the comments of the last episode, so I appreciate that, mate. It was really great to hear from you. You're very welcome. He did say thank you for showcasing his mod, and I've got to say thank you for the mod, mate, because it's just brilliant. And I've got to say, Farming Simulator at the minute, Farming Simulator 25, for me, whether it's because I'm easily pleased or not, I don't know, but for me, this is the best version of the game. I know there's been a little bit of negativity in the community as a whole recently with Farming Simulator. I know it's, you know, I'm not going to go into details. I don't really want to ever get involved in all that negative stuff, but I know there's been a few things going on at Giants, hasn't there, that have been talked about recently in other videos. But like I say, maybe it's just me, maybe it's because I'm easily pleased, but for me, this is absolutely the best version of the game that we've ever had so far. It's absolutely brilliant. The quality of the mods that we've got coming out, like that cab cinematic, for example, it's, you know, it just adds that little bit of extra immersion, just getting in and out of your vehicles. It's absolutely incredible. It really is. The cleverness and thought that goes into some of the mods. And you know, I'm very fortunate that mentioning my Discord again. There's a handful of modders in there who talk about their mods that they're recently releasing. And again, talking about Ritter and NX Modding, for example, they're working on some absolute crackers. Ritter's working on one called Shelf Life at the minute. That's without going into too much detail, but it basically alters the characteristics of perishable goods, and you know, that kind of thing. It makes perishable goods spoil over time, basically, which I think is a detail that we have been missing in Farm Sim 25 or in Farming Simulator as a whole. You know, in reality, almost everything that we handle in the game, product-wise, after a certain amount of time, would perish and go bad. And the fact that we can keep hold of crops in grain silos for months on end, months and months and months before, you know, waiting for best sell time, I think there's an element of unrealism out of that, isn't there? So, but yeah, he's obviously working on something like that. NX Modding's been working on his, he's got his feed calculator mod, of course. I think he's working on a fuel consumption mod and a vehicle mileage mod. Again, just little bits of thought that go a long way to making the game that little bit more immersive, and it's just brilliant. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a plethora, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mods and modders out there improving the game and adding bits to it, which are absolutely brilliant. But I just have my own little corner of the internet, I suppose, on my Discord, where I guess get notified about them, and we learn about them through there. And I've got to give a massive shout out again, as I almost always do, to my good mate Dutch Modelling, who is a constant source of information when it comes to mods. I don't know how you do it, mate, quite frankly, because I know you're a busy man. But there's on my Discord there is an FS25 mod section, and Dutch is constantly updating that with mods that he learns about, whether that's through GitHub. He's obviously keeping, you know, making sure he posts links to places that are on the, you know, genuine places like the Mod Hub or the Modder's own GitHub pages and stuff like that, or itch.io. But how he knows about all these things, to me, it's just incredible. There's one called the More Realistic Game Engine by a modder called Quadrural, and that basically changes so many aspects of the game. I find it absolutely incredible. And we didn't have anything like that for Farm Sim 25. That more realistic game engine kind of affects braking and more vehicle characteristics and inertia and all that kind of stuff. And again, it's just genius. It really is. And speaking about mods as well, I wanted to just briefly bring to light this cultivate that I'm using here, this Amazon Catros 6002. This is by a modder called Lamai. This is available on the Mod Hub, but one thing I hadn't actually appreciated that it has a feature is that you can flick between the two. It's got two work modes. Let me jump back into the cab again and just show you very quickly. But it's got two work modes. If you keep an eye on the top left-hand corner there, as you can see there, toggle work mode, you've got deep cultivation, which I've been constantly set to, but you can change it to shallow cultivation as well. So that obviously changes the dynamics and what it does to the ground. But you've got deep cultivation, which produces the blue cultivated state in the field when you go to the PDA, or in the shallow cultivation, that'll give you the lighter blue seedbed colour, texture, whatever you want to call it, in the map PDA as well. So it's just brilliant. It really is, and I hadn't appreciated that about that mod. Now, a few of you might have noticed that possibly in that cinematic, or as I've been using this thing over the last couple of episodes, it did seem to struggle. It's got enough power. This thing requires 180 horsepower, I think, and the tractor's got 195, so it's bordering on the edge, but it does cope with it. But because I've had it set to deep cultivation without appreciating that I could change it to shallow, maybe that's why this particular tractor might seem to struggle a little bit. So when we come to use that again, the next time we use this cultivator will be when we sort out our other area of grass meadowland. That'll no doubt be in the next episode. We'll mow the grass and sort it all out and get it baled up and wrapped for silage. But then I am going to make sure that I remember to switch this to shallow cultivation and just see out, for my own interest really, just to see if this particular tractor copes any better with it. But it powered through, it got the job done. As you can see, the job is now completely done. It's 5:10, so it's, like I said earlier, those 2 contracts have taken us nicely to the end of this in-game day. But now we need to jump into our finances section over here. There we go. And we're going to make our first payment. And I need to turn in the contract first, don't I? Do things in the right order, FARMERSIM. There we go. Collect that. 33,543. Lovely stuff. So where are we at now? $197,000. Not bad at all. So finances. Let's go into this now. So what we're going to do, I started with 120 grand, didn't I? So there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's go for another one, 90. So we've paid 90 grand off our debt now. Now we're only bringing that down to $910,000, which is still an enormous amount of money. And now I've turned in the contract. The weeds have come back again. Dear me. The field was full of weeds when I started, and I've cultivated, and now they've all gone, and it looked nice and tidy for 10 seconds, and now they've all come back again. Dear me. Again, maybe that's another... Maybe something that a clever modder out there can work on, because that wouldn't happen, would it? I've just turned in the contract and all of a sudden, boom, the weeds are back. But hey-ho, it is what it is. So, anyway, sorted. Like I said, we've now got some debt paid off. We've started to chip away at the debt. It's 5:10, so I think we will... I mean, before the next episode, I'll have a think whether I do maybe mow the grass tonight. And we'll have a look. In fact, let's have a look at the weather and see what we've got coming up for the next episode. So... we've got cloud, it remains as it is now till 3 o'clock in the morning. We've got a bit of rain first thing in the morning, and then we've got sunshine right the way through from 9 till 3 o'clock in the afternoon there, so that's pretty good. So maybe if we start the next episode 9 o'clock in the morning shortly after, the grass should be hopefully a little bit dry, and then we'll get it cut, get it all rowed up and all that kind of stuff, and start getting some silage bales made to earn us a bit of money in the future. Looking forward to that. That's pretty decent, but I am very happy that I've started to pay off a little bit of the debt. And like I did say before, one of the big things that I'm banking on is the corn harvest and the dry corn in the future. Moving on from that, I'm hoping possibly for a good few $100,000 from that. So that could be a really, really good earner and a massive ability to pay off a massive chunk of the debt. So looking forward to that in the future. But that's months away, a good few months anyway. The corn harvest isn't till October, November, and I'm sure it'll take a good couple of months to get all that dried off and whatnot. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure that we've got more than enough. We've got more than enough straw in the corn dryer to cope with about 1.2 million litres of corn. So fingers crossed, touch wood, we should be right for that. But yeah, that's all good. But there we go. I think that's a nice position to leave today's episode on. Like I said before as well, before I go, another reminder: if any of you are interested in downloading this save file with the farm and the animals and the layout and all that kind of stuff, the link will be in the video description below for my Discord. Please do come along and join. The more the merrier. It's a good laugh over there. It's a crazy place now and again. We do try and have a bit of a laugh on Discord there. But yeah, if you are a user of Discord and you like the idea of downloading this save game, then by all means it's over there now for you to download. So yeah, go help yourself and come say hi. But like I said, I think 5:15. It's a nice position and time and point to leave this episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed the video and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders. It helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And if you like the idea of supporting the channel, there are a number of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs. There is coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates. Any help and support with any of those, ladies and gentlemen, would be massively appreciated. So, as always, thank you very much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one.